the Gundam reprints has happened. So is now the time to get boxes? Is now the time to get cards? Or are scalpers feeling their own version of FOMO when they're trying to catch on the coattails of what the box sales were? If you like this kind of content, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. First thing we're gonna look at, guys, is the booster box prices. So right now, 191, not necessarily falling, but falling a little bit. They have fallen from 250. That's crazy. 93 sold at 250 to 275, guys. What were you guys doing? What were you guys doing? Guys, do us a favor, go ahead and share the video so these people can be informed on when and not to buy. That was not a good move, because now if they just would have waited a couple of days, already down 288. However, that is still not MSRP. Let's go ahead and look at some of the sales here. So right now we're looking at 192 as the last sold box, so around 190, 195. I would implore you, just wait a couple of days. Again, some stores still haven't gotten their boxes yet. Some stores have. Go ahead and shop around in your local area if you have the capability of doing so. In my area, I have the luxury of choice. If one place is selling for 180, I can just walk out, go to the next place selling for 130. So if the boxes are free falling, the singles must. First thing we're gonna take a look at is the LRs. Now we see that everything is kind of in free fall right now. Look at that. We have Freedom Gunners down to $10. We have Rebuilds down to $670. Kasachiras is kind of the top deck because I think this was the latest one to the party here. A lot of people had their other cards before they started picking up Kasachiras because she was at like $11 at one point in time. Went up and now it's kind of hovering around. Free falling from $35, but we are down to 0 sold on the $23, but they're still trying to hold on. Selling at $22. So you can think of it as about a $20 to $22 card still, but still in free fall. Lost about 12% overall in the past 5 days. Let's take a look at our boy Freedom. He was holding tall for the longest time, one of the first meta decks out there, now taking a massive fall. Even in the meta space, a lot of players are saying like this card technically doesn't really even do too much. A lot of people are opting for the Unicorn endgame instead of Freedom altogether, just taking Freedom out of the deck. And you can see it's reflected here. When he was at his peak, a ton sold, almost 350 right there. And then as you can see, the free fall. And that's one of the things that's affecting the cards, guys. A lot of players are, of course, not just opening up packs, so not just more product out there. A lot of people are switching from one deck to the next. A lot of people are feeling like Kasachi deck is a little bit easier to play. The mirror matches are a lot more favorable, in my personal opinion, because you're not a blue-white matchup versus a blue-white matchup is just, oh, it's a headache, quite honestly. But also, I want you to take a look at the listing amounts for every one of these cards, guys. Look at that. We're almost 128 wing zeros, now 107 death sights. This card went down to like 9 listings at one point, and now we have over 107 listings. That doesn't even mean the amount of quantity that is totally up there. We're looking at over 256 copies of this card up right now. Probably can benefit from a little bit of waiting, guys. That's what I'm gonna do. I definitely want to pick up 4 of these. I've sold a total of like 6 of these before. Too rich for me. This thing was sitting at $40 at one point, guys. Look at that, 205 sold at the round time, going down about $15–16. Let's just take a look at the bottom here, guys. This is criminal. These are my actual, some of the cards that I play the most, maybe because I'm cheap. But I play Gundam. I play Buster Gundam all day. I love the Zap deck still. I love the Draw Gundam. Now, Banks Unicorn, of course, being played with Marita. It's just one of those cards where it doesn't really do anything until you're at this specific point into the game. And so not really many people really need this card. Over 150 listing here. Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. This card's probably gonna dip down to $1 in the near future, guys. This, not even I as a Zach player really love this card, and I say it all the time, I love the Dual Gundam. All right, guys, let's take a look at the big body cards here. All the plus cards. We see a little bit of a tank here from the Overflow and Affection, still at the top, but a lot of these cards holding steady for the most part. A Show Resolve going down to about mid $100, and we have the Resource tanking down all the way down to $35. This card was maybe around 70 at one point in time. The Gelgu, this actually kind of shot up from where it was and then kind of hovering around the $30 range. One of the main cards that took the largest hit, I believe, is the Death Scythe and the Wing Gundam Zero here. So we had like a little bit of bounce off the floor here, but you can see this large trend going down and less people buying it. You know, that's just kind of like normal, right? This card shot up like crazy in the beginning, but it's slowly floating down, but still a really good pull to get one of the best artworks in the game. It's so true to the story here. It looks awesome, even at the aesthetic and the type of art style brings back that 90s feel. All right, did a bit of a refresh here. Didn't have our girl Marita Cruz sitting here near the top still. She was the top card next to Overflow and Affection. her price actually isn't going down too much, and her listing is actually a lot lower than the rest. So there's only 29 listings for this particular card. With that said, there's only 36 around. She still did feel a slight dip here. As you can see, I said negative 31. That's probably comparing it to its spike, but still kind of holding on to this position right now. Looking at past sales, everything is selling for at least above $60 to $70, guys. So you're still probably gonna look at this as a $60 card at least. Now for duos alt art, this was like the most sought after card, like the highest price card out there for the longest time when it comes to rare pluses. Look at the fall from grace here. Take a look at this graph, guys, around $55 all the way down to almost half the price there. Now, I'm not sure if it's just the fact that, of course, more of these are being pulled each and every single day. I know some people prefer the winter version instead of this particular one. More of a trophy card than this card is. Quite honestly, like I said, I like trophy cards over cards that can be pulled. I find those actually look to be a lot more valuable just because they have to be earned rather than just being pulled. But that's just me. And we're not going to click into them, but we're just going to take a snapshot of all the other rare pluses here. One card that's actually falling is the Battle of Aces. This card was hovering around at $30 range at one point in time. Now looking about $16.50 for its lowest listing here. Some cards that are holding steady is the LeGo. Zap players are waking up. Aggro meta is here, and LeGo is cooking it. It's awesome. Every time I see my locals, when the majority of players are playing Aggro, these Zap players are just kind of just going through them. The ones that I think that should go up in price is the Shamblo. But I think this card is just not really that good when it comes to a 1v1 matchup. This card is strictly a 2v2 card. Now, if you guys didn't know, there's actual official 2v2 tournaments at these Bandai events, and there's some that are actually being held in the application. So be sure to check around to see if your store has been selected for the 2v2, or if the store themselves has put in their interest for wanting to do 2v2s. And if you are interested in 2v2s, you need to be able to talk to your LGS and let them know, hey, we all here want to do some official 2v2s, so let's go ahead and get it going. It is official rule set, guys. In my store, where there's like 13 stores around me, and we do have one store that's actually doing it. It's really awesome. We do it once a week, and the decks are just different. And cards like Shamblo shine the most in this particular format. The starter decks, and of course these cards are kind of holding steady, holding strong. The total listing for these cards are kind of low. It seems like people, of course, stop buying a lot of starter decks. Some cards that had a notable fall and rise are, for one, Gundam Aerial. This card has essentially just tanked. This is really only a fan card at this point. It does look amazing. Not really many people are playing this card. Now this card right here has been performing pretty well here, and I personally like Corsica base because I play Oz in a lot of my Oz builds. Now check this out, guys. This card was at $4, and if you pick them up at $4, there's like a couple spikes here at $4, but look at that. The last one sold at about $34.50. That's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. And for some reason, our boy the Zaku 1 is seeing a bounce off the floor here. As you see, he was bought a ton at $5.92. Now he is up to $22, which is kind of crazy. Of course, as they get more scarce, it's probably going to go up in price. These are kind of cards that, like I said, with the lack of people buying starter decks. Here's the thing though, as well, I've seen a lot of starter decks go up in price so much that it's preventing players from even getting into the game. They would rather buy a one-piece starter deck that's like 12 bucks. Like, why get into Gundam when the starter decks are $30, $40? Just getting into the game is pretty hard for a lot of new players. You can even see it in the comments in my recent video that they thought about it and they said, you know what, screw it, this game is too expensive. I'm not even gonna try. I can't even go to a local game shop and buy this for MSRP or even close to it. All right, guys, that's it for this update on the Gundam card game. Now we are in reprint mode here. Most stores around here are still waiting on their reprints, but some already have it. Finally good to look over the counter and see boxes stacked up and them offering MSRP. There are some stores, however, still offering it at $180 to $200 a box. Now you won't get my business, but if that's good enough for you guys, go ahead and check out your local game stores to pick up your product. How do you guys feel about these prices? Is it now the time to get your buddies into the game? I know some of the starter deck prices are still a little bit high. I can't see the starter deck sealed prices here. So in the comments down below, if you know of any places selling these starter decks for MSRP, please go ahead and shout out the store here so other people can see it and of course be able to get into the game, because that's where it all starts, guys. Sometimes these prices bar people from getting into the game. It makes it harder for people to just really even just be interested in it because they feel like they're just being priced out and they would rather play something that's a little bit cheaper and easier for them to get into. Speaking of easier to get into, be sure to like and subscribe to the page, guys, because I have some budget list decks coming out for you guys. These are decks that can actually be played at your local levels. They may not win a pro tour, but they can still probably bring home a top 8 or even a top 4 from your locals here. And when I mean budget, I don't mean $100 budget. I'm talking about 20 bucks gets you the entire deck, buying singles, and possibly your next top 4. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. For more Gundam TCG content, check out these videos right here. And for some other mecha content, check out these videos right here. I know life can be hard out there, guys, but keep your head up, keep moving forward, and most importantly, let nothing stop you. Peace out, guys.